This conference will now be recorded.
Today we will discuss about the tuple. So, what is the tuple? Anyone know in this session what is the tuple?
It means
Yeah,
rose.
no, that is like a row, but not a row. It seems like row, but not a row.
It is almost same as list.
Okay,
Well, list is mutable and I think tuple is immutable.
okay,
It allows duplicate values and indexing too.
okay.
Yes.
Exactly. So,
In tuple, we
that
cannot
is
change the object.
okay. Yeah, that is correct. So, list and tuple both are same, but tuple is immutable and the list is mutable. Okay, we can change the list and we can assign or we can delete any items from the list, but in tuple we cannot change the tuple size. We cannot decrease or increase the tuple size, so we cannot delete and you cannot assign the any values to tuple. Okay, so whatever the values you should not change in your program, so those values you should store in the tuple, like sensitive data. If you have any sensitive data you are handling in your code, you will use the tuple. And some type of variable, some type of data, suppose you retrieve the some data from the database or tables, so that you should not change in the program. So in that type of data you should store in the tuple. Okay, so if you store the any data in the tuple, as I told you, you cannot change. Okay, so insertion order and heterogeneous object stored and insertion order is preserved, means whatever the insertion order you have inserted the data in the tuple, that should be remain same in the tuple. Okay, and duplicates also allowed here. Okay, so here also we have the negative and positive indexing. Mean, you know, right? Negative and positive indexing means, so backward indexing and forward indexing. Okay, so forward indexing we call it as positive indexing. Backward indexing we call it as negative indexing. Okay, so here tuple we can declare as by using parenthesis. Okay, we use the parenthesis to represent the tuple. So list, what we have used in list, square brackets, right? If you represent group of variables or group of items, objects represented in the parenthesis, you call it as a tuple. If you represent it in the square brackets, you call it as a list. Okay. So most frequently asked interview question is, what is the difference between tuple and the list? When you can use tuple and when you can use list. Okay, understand, right? So when you can use list and when you can use tuple, tuple means if the data you retrieved in the, you are dealing in the code, if you are not change in the data, then you should use the tuple. If you want to change the data, if you want to change the data in your program, then you should use the list. Okay, so understand, right? What is the list, what is the tuple, and the difference, because these two are most important and you should understand the difference also. So and represent this one, and the tuple is immutable and list is mutable. Okay, so only these two differences we have in the list and tuple. Okay, except this, everything is same. Okay, so here how can you declare the tuple? So I am taking on a variable t. Okay, so by using, if I give 10, so is it tuple? And I am declaring t1 equal to this one, t2 equal to like this, t3 equal to t4 equal to, okay, t5 equal to. So which declaration is correct in this six? So first one is correct or not? Respond. If you respond only, you can learn. Otherwise, you won't learn anything. So I am not sure why you are not responding. Whether it is correct or not, you should respond in the class. Okay. Otherwise, I don't understand whether you are understanding or not. Okay. So if you respond, then I can understand you are understanding the better way the concepts. Okay. So first one is correct or not?
Correct. I think
You
it's
told
correct.
first one is correct. Second one,
Yes. Yeah.
second one also
It's
correct.
Yes,
yes.
sir.
Okay. Third one,
Correct.
Wrong. Wrong.
Third one is
wrong.
correct.
Wrong.
Wrong is okay.
Okay.
This one,
Correct.
okay. This one,
Correct. Correct.
Correct.
okay. This one,
Correct.
Wrong.
Correct.
someone telling wrong and someone telling correct, right? Okay.
I think
So
the first one is
first,
wrong
why? Why first one is wrong?
because it is like a variable declaration.
See, this one also, T1 also variable only. Everything is variable. We declared variable, but why? Yeah, first one is absolutely wrong. Why means, so we are creating the integer variable. So this is the 10 means integer data. Okay. So you are assigning integer data to variable. So here we created the integer object. Okay. So this is the integer, not the tuple. Okay. So this one is correct. Okay. T1 we are denoting as parenthesis, right? We are declaring empty tuple. Okay. So T2, this is wrong. So whoever told wrong, that is correct. Why? Because if you declare like this, it will consider as integer only. Okay. So because list should has at least one item and after that comma. It should expect the comma after that. So if you won't mention the any comma, it would consider as integer only. Okay. So this is correct. T3 is correct because we have given the 10. After that you have given the comma means, so it consider as tuple. So means here group of variable, group of objects, right? Objects or items or values, all are same. So group of objects means you should give the at least one. After that you should give comma. Means you have the other where other object also, other objects also, but not now. Okay, that is why you have given the comma and it will consider as a tuple. Okay. So here this is also correct. You are giving the group of objects within the tuple. So it is considered as a tuple only. Okay. This is also tuple. So if you give group of objects and assigning it to variable, that is treated as tuple only. It won't treated as list. Okay. So if you give square brackets, then only it will consider as list. Otherwise, if you won't give anything, it will consider as tuple only. Okay. Let's see whether these are correct or not. Okay. Type C. Integer. By default, it consider as integer. Okay. Type of T1. C. Type of T1 is tuple. So if you give T1, then it will return the empty tuple. Okay. It return the empty tuple. So like this, we will check this one. T2. So type of T2. Okay. So what it return? Class integer. Okay. If you give T2 and print the data, so it return the integer. Okay. So this one. See, type of T3 means this is the tuple. Okay. So if you print this one, it will consider as same tuple. It is expecting other objects also assigned in the future. Okay. So this one told the tuple. By seeing that also you can know. So this is the tuple. So here type of T4, if you give, it will consider as tuple only. Okay. So like this one also. If you give like this type of T5, you will consider as tuple. If you print this one, it will assign the parenthesis by default. Okay. If you want to give also, it will Python by default, it will assign the parenthesis and write the all the objects in that within that parenthesis. Okay. So understand, right? This one tuple declaration. Okay. So
Yes.
any doubts? Okay. Good. So accessing elements. How can you access elements from the tuple? How can you access elements from the tuple?
Indexing,
How can you
slicing.
access? Yeah, correct. Indexing, slicing. So what is indexing? So suppose I have T4. Okay, T4 tuple I have. So what is the index for the T4? So 10 has the index 0, 20 has the index 1, 30 has the index 2, right? So what is the negative index? 30 has the -1, 20 has the -2, 10 has the -3. Okay. So if you want to access any value based on the index, how can you access? How can you access? By using indexing. So like that we can give. So we talked about slicing, right? So what is the slicing means? So within this tuple, so if you want to get the data, group of data, suppose within this range, so I want this range of data, so I want this range of data from this tuple, then you use the slicing. So suppose I want to 0 to 1. So only 0, 1 elements retrieved from this tuple. Okay. Like that, you will use the slicing and get the data from the tuple. Okay. So as I told you, right, tuple is immutable, right? So means if you want to, suppose T4 I have. If I want to assign any value in the second position, I want to assign any value. Will it allow to assign? Let's see. So I already have T4.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, T5 I have, right? T5 of, so 1. Okay, it retrieved the, based on the index, it retrieved the value. So T5 of 6. Will it give correct result or it throw any error? So it throw index error. Means tuple index out of range. So tuple doesn't have this 6 index. Okay, that is why it raised the index error. Okay. So we talked about slicing, right? If you want to slice the any data, so suppose I want to take from first to third. Okay, so what it print? First is this one, second is this one. But why this third is not included? Because it will take up to 3, but it won't include the 3. Okay, that is means if you call it as n minus 1, you can call it, but that is up to third index, but it not include the third index. Okay, understand, right? So I talked about immutability, right? So if you want to assign on the uh, third index, I want to assign some 100 value. Okay, so will it allow or not? So it won't allow, means type error. Tuple object doesn't have support item assignment, means that is called as immutable. So you cannot item assignment, or you cannot remove the item from that tuple. Okay, so we have the other concept like concatenation. So how can you concatenate? Is it allow concatenation in the tuple? So suppose I have here T10, I have like this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So T5 I have already, right? What I have, this one, this data I have. So I want to concatenate. I want to T11, T5 plus T10. Is it possible to do it?
Yes.
Let's see. So why it is possible? I told you to, I told you, right, that item assignment and uh, increasing the tuple is not possible in the tuple, right?
We are
So why?
assigning it to the other variable.
Yes, correct. So we are not changing the existing items, existing objects. Okay, existing tuple we are not changing. We are creating new tuple and assigning T5 and T10 combinedly to T11, means tuple 11. So it is possible to create a new tuple by assigning, by concatenating two tuples. Okay, so we discussed in the plus and star in the list, right? So what is the plus and what is the star here? So just now we saw that plus is used for the concatenation. If you want to concatenate two tuples, you use the plus. So what is the star? Star meaning. So I have the tuple 5. Okay. So tuple 5 into 2, 3. So what output you will expect here? See, whatever the items in the tuple, it repeated twice. Sorry, 3 times. See, one is this one. After that, this one. Second, this is third. If you give tuple into 3, whatever the items it has in the tuple, it repeated in the that much times. Okay. Same functionality as in list also. List also same functionality, right? Here tuple also same functionality. Okay. So any doubt here? No doubts.
No doubt, sir.
So we have some important functions in the tuple. Okay. What are those? One is length function. So it is used to find out the length of the tuple. Okay. So another one is the count. So when we use count, if you want to find out the count of the any number which is occurring in the tuple. Suppose here 10 you have. So if 10 has 20 times in this tuple, then if you want to the count of this 10 occurrences, then you have to give count of 10, then it will give the how many occurrences 10 has in this list. Okay. So after that you have the index. So what is the index function? Okay. So index, if you give index, if you give any element in the index, suppose you want to find out the 20 index. So if you want to find out the 20 index, you should give index of 20, then it will find out the index of 20. Okay. So in that case, if 20 has multiple times in this list, okay, only first occurrence index it will return. Okay. So other occurrences it will ignore. Okay. Only first find occurrence it will return. Okay. Other indexes of this 20 it will ignore. Okay. Understand, right? Index. So another one is sorted. Okay. So sorted means, suppose I have the list already I have given in the sorted order. So if the list not in the sorted order, then by using sorted function, we will sort the list, sorry, tuple. So you by default it is in ascending order. So if you want to give the descending, you should give the reverse equal to true. Okay, understand, right? So another functions you have min and max. So this, if you use min of T5, min of list, sorry, tuple, then it will give the minimum value of in this tuple. Suppose here minimum value is 10, right? So it will return the 10 here, min means. So max, if you give the max of tuple T5, then max value in this tuple is 40, right? It return the 40. Okay. So another function you have CMP. Okay. CMP means it will compare the two tuples. Okay. So if both the tuples are equal, so both the elements are equal, then it return the 0. So if first tuple is less than second tuple, then it returns the -1. If first tuple is greater than second tuple, then it returns the +1. Okay. let's see the examples of practical way of these things. Okay, so here you have the already T5 I have. Okay, T5 I have, right? So I want to find out the length of T5. So how can you find out? By using len function. So len of T5, if you give T5, you can find out the length. So it return the 4, right? So here how many elements it has? 4 elements. That is why the length of the T5 is 4. So it returned the 4. Okay. So likewise, if you want to find out any tuple, you can find out in the real time. You won't know, right? So what might be the length of the tuple? Then you should use the length function and find out the length of that tuple and do the whatever the indexing or slicing or any operation, any logic you want to write in that code, you can write. Okay. So count function, we have the count. So how can you write the count? Can anyone tell me how can you write the count? So in the T5, okay, T5, I have to find out the count of 10. Okay. So how many times 10 occur in the T5? 10 times, only one time. So I will multiply this one, T6 equal to T5. Okay, T6 I have like this. So I want to find out the count of T6 of count means 10. Okay, right? So see, 3 times it occurred. So 1, 2, 3, right? 3 times it occurred in this tuple, right? That is why you got the count is 2, 3. Okay. So another function we have is index, right? So index also, how can you declare? You have to find out the index from the T6. So T6 dot index. Okay. So what element you want to find out the index? Suppose you want to find out the index of 20, then you have to give the 20 here. So suppose 20 occurred in first index. Okay. So this is the 0, this is the first. Okay. So here it has in the another occurrence also, but it return the only first occurrence of the element. Okay. So understand, right? So another one is sorted. Okay. Sorted function. Okay. So I haven't given anything here. Okay. How it can be sorted? So here you have to, what you have to sort here? T6, right? So that is why you have to give here T6. So I haven't given anything by default. In which order it will sort? Anyone tell me? By default, which order it will sort?
Ascending order.
Yeah, correct. See, earlier this T6 has this order. So now it's sorted in ascending order. So if I want to sort it in descending order, T6 comma reverse equal to true. Okay. If you give like this, it will sort in the descending order. So yesterday we talked about we have the sort function in the list, right? Suppose I have let me take, yesterday we got one error, right? Sort return the none. Okay. So I have the list one like this, 10, 20, 30, 40, 1, 2, 3, 9, 8, 7, 3. Okay, like this I have. Okay, list one. So yesterday what we have used L1 of sort of, we have given like this. So what it return? Nothing it returned, right? So if you print L1 of short, it will return none. Okay. So here, if you see here, by default it return the sorted list, sorted tuple, right? Understand, right? See, you have given the tuple, but it return the list. Understand, right? So you have given the tuple and it return the sort is return the list. So by default, whatever this sort, split and all return the tuple. Sorry, list. Okay. So it won't return the tuple. So if you want to return the tuple, what you have to give? Tuple of sorted of T6 reverse equal to true. So I will show you. So why you got none? So L1 dot sort means it won't return the any value because it will sort the L1. Okay, if you print L1, see it sorted the L1. Okay, but it won't return the new list. Okay, understand, right? That is why we got none. Understand? So here, sir, why I it return the list means always by default Python program like this only. This function always return the list only. So see, I want to output in tuple. So if you want to output in tuple, you have to give tuple function. Okay, tuple of in that tuple function you have to give the sorted. Okay, so internally this tuple function will accept the this value and it will convert whatever it return the value, it return the list, right? This tuple function will allow the that list and it convert this list into tuple. Okay, see now in tuple you got right output. Understand, right? Okay,
Yes.
so another function you have min. So min of T6, it will give the 10. Minimum value is 10, right? So it gives the 10 value. So max means max of T6. So max value is 40, right? In this T6. That is why it has given the 40. So CMP means I have the T1 empty tuple. So T1 I am assigning few values. So I want to assign what values I need to assign here. So suppose T1 20 30 I have. Okay. So T2 I have only 10. T2 equal to I want to assign like how many values I want to assign 40, 50, 60. Okay. So T3 I want another variable. So what values I need to assign here? 10, 20, 30. Okay. So I have T1 this one, T2 this one, T3 these values. Okay. So now I want to use CMP of T1 comma T2. What it will return? If I compare T1 T2, what it will return? So these are both the list are same or not?
Different.
Both are different, right? If the both are different, what it will return? -1, right? CMP is not defined. So I think in Python 3.12 maybe they removed or not. Yeah. So actually CMP they have removed in the Python 3.2. Okay, 3.12. They have removed this Python CMP. So, but it is available if you install. So I have installed the Python 3.12, right? So that is why there is no CMP. So if you install to Python 2, then you will you will find this CMP. Okay, so you remember theoretical way, but if anyone asked in interview, you will tell in theoretical way. So if they ask, will it still exist in the Python 3 version also? Your answer is no. Okay, that is why you got the name error. So I have given this OMP also. So they removed in the Python 3.12. Okay, before if you take 3, if you take 2 Python 2 version, then you will find out this CMP. Okay, understand, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what else we have? We have the tuple packing and unpacking. Okay, what is tuple packing and unpacking? Suppose I have the different variables. I have A 10, I have B 20, I have C, I have 30, D, I have 40. Like this I have. Okay, so I have the T 20. So in this T20, if I give like this A comma B comma C comma D, so this is the tuple packing. Means we are whatever the variables we are packing into tuple. Okay, if you give like this, so we are packing into tuple. Okay, so if you see output of this T20, whatever the values of A, B, C, D, it preserved into the tuple. Okay, so let's see. Multiple. Okay, you have to give the comma. But if you give multiple statements, you have to give the comma here. Then only it will take. Otherwise, it won't take. Okay, so what it is, I have this one. See, T20 if I give, this is all the whatever the variables we have, it returned in the tuple. Okay, so understand, right? So you already have the T20. Okay, T20 data, you have this one. Okay, so I want to extract those data into A1. Okay, A1 I have, A2 I have, A3, A4. Okay, so equal to 20. Okay, so when I give like this, if I print A1, so A1 value, I haven't declared A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, A4, right? So, but I am assigning, I declared all the at once and I am assigning T20 tuple to these are 4 variables. But how it assigned? Whatever the value, first value it assigned to A1, second value it assigned to A2, third value it assigned to A3, fourth value it assigned to A4. Like that, it will unpack the tuple and assign the each value to each variable. Okay, whatever the sequence it has, that sequence it assign. Suppose here you have 4 elements, right? 4 objects, right? So here you have given 3 only. So in that time, it failed. It will return the error. See, let's see. See, value error means too many values to unpack, but expected 3. Okay, so here 4 you have, but here you have given 3. So whatever the elements you have in the tuple, so those many variables you have to use to unpack the tuple. Okay, understand, right? Any doubts you have here? Okay, so that's it for today class. So any doubts you have, you can ask.